All right, hi Garden Club. So I have an activity that I dreamed up actually while I was just at school. I went out there to water this morning, so after this video, there'll be an additional video of just plants to look for outside at the elementary school if you get a chance to go down there and see what's growing. There's lots of things that are growing right now. And I think the video that I'll post after this is it has sunflowers, peas, and carrots. All three of those that you should look for in our quiet garden, and look for those in our raised beds that are right outside of the quiet garden. While I was there, though, I noticed that there's tons of these dandelions. And like I said, there's lots of flowers in bloom right now. And so I thought that this would make for a really fun activity for you guys at home to go out and pick different types of flowers. I don't encourage you to go to your neighbor's garden unless you ask for their flowers, but you're welcome to pick any of the flowers that are in the butterfly garden. That's what they're there for. We've got marigolds, which marigolds look a lot like this marigold. And what else is in there? I think you might be able to find some of these ones here, also in the butterfly garden. So lots of things that you can pick so you can complete this activity that I thought up. This is called I don't know the name of this activity, but the idea is that we're going to smush all of these flowers on this card, almost like how we dry flowers. But this activity, actually, we're going to use a hammer. It's one of the things you'll need. You'll want a book. And then you'll want just a piece of lightweight computer paper. Or you can use a piece of scrap paper. But so what you'll want to do, first step, is to take your paper, fold it in half, and then you'll want to place your flowers, or you can even just do petals. So you'll take the flowers or the petals and just arrange them however you want to on your paper. This one here, I think this is called a bluebell. This one's really weedy in my personal garden, which is why I picked this one. I found a salvia in my garden. The hummingbirds just love this plant. And it's got these tubular flowers. There's a couple of these in the butterfly garden, but they're not blooming yet. So keep an eye out for these as well. So we'll just arrange these on our card. This is a dianthus. So we don't have any of those in the butterfly garden, but I've got these in my personal garden. So you'll lay them on your card. Then you'll fold over just like this. And then what you want to do is we've got that book, right? You want to put this inside of the book. And then some of you might want to have assistance with your parents to use a hammer so you don't get your hands. You always want to make sure that when we use a hammer, our hands are far away. You've got this handle here. That's where your hands need to go. So you'll want to give it a little pound. And if you don't have a hammer at home, all you got to do is just use your fist. So lots of different options. And then when you're done, you're going to open it back up. I just pounded a little bit. You'll want to pound, I would say pound and count to 100. Try that. And I'm not going to do that this entire time, but just so you get an idea, give it a pound. And then you'll open it up. And this one I didn't pound nearly hard enough. But you'll open it up and you'll see where the leaves, the flowers some of them have stuck on there. But you'll want to just keep trying and keep pounding. You kind of have to pound a little hard. So this might be an outdoor activity too, just so we don't drive our parents bonkers. Or the other thing that you could do too is just lay it in there, give it that pound, and then let it dry. And then those flowers will be nice and flat. So that is my final product. And you can just let it dry, and then you can frame it or make sure you put your name on it and the date. And yeah, I'd love to know how it worked. You could add a comment and say, and let me know how it worked, or if it didn't work, or if you need tips. Or you could add a comment and tell me something you want to learn about in the garden while I'm there. Water at the garden, watering your raised beds because it's been dry, so dry lately. So a few things that I noticed while I was out here is all of these different plants that are coming up that a lot of you have planted by seed. So this plant right here looks like it's a pea. It's a sweet pea. And I think that this was planted by my kindergarten first and second grade group on a Monday. So if you had class on Monday, this is one of your plants. Then I also noticed there's a lot of these. So look for 4 leaves. They're ovate leaves. They also have this nice, I don't know if you can see that, a furry stem. But these are actually our sunflowers. So remember, we had this whole bed full of sunflowers, and it looks like they reseeded, which plants will commonly do. So there's a lot of them. There's even some outside of the garden box. So, you know, if you are at the school and you're looking for something to explore, I encourage you to look for all of these different sunflowers that are outside of the box. Maybe you can even give them a count and see how many you can find. I'd love it if you could find some of these sweet peas. And keep an eye out because they've got a white flower. They've got a flower with a hood on it, which maybe I'll bring a picture of what those look like. But look for some sweet peas, sunflowers, and then other plants that I noticed that you all had planted by seed. There's all of these. These are all carrots. And so we just kind of scattered them in here. There's even some right there. Little teeny carrots. But a carrot has to be about an inch away from each other. So this is about how far apart they need to be. And because of that, I'm going to have to go through at some point and thin these carrots. This is something easy that you could do in your own garden, but literally when I thin carrots, I just go through and I just pull. And I pull, and this is why we don't want to ever overseed. Carrots are fine, but if you plant too many seeds like cucumbers or those big seeds, then you plant too many of those, then you have to thin them, which is kind of heartbreaking. But carrots, it's one of those plants that there's so many teeny seeds that it's just easier just to cast them just like we did, and then go back through and thin them.